Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Learn with Jason. This is stream number 8 this week. I am tired, but here joining us, one of my favorite people in the whole world and a great person to give us some energy to carry me through the rest of this week is Aisha Blake. Aisha, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited. I get to chat with you. This is 2 weeks in a row now.
I know. It felt like we didn't talk forever, and then all of a sudden we've had a lot of opportunities, and it makes me really, really happy.
I love it.
Um, you are just you do so many things, and so rather than me trying to recount them, although I am going to call out specifically that I feel like the greatest injustice that happened over the pandemic was the end of Twitch Sings
It
because we
still hurts.
lost your karaoke stream.
It still
Um,
hurts.
but outside of karaoke, um, what else? What can you give us a little bit of a background on yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So I come to tech via teaching.
Mm,
I got my I even before I had my first paid job, I was a volunteer full time at a high school here in Detroit. And I sort of got tricked into teaching web development and robotics. But I liked it. It worked out. And so I entered the industry as a JavaScript instructor. And no, this was really before I knew much about JavaScript, but it was it was enough, to write and to teach. And I, to this day, that is my absolute favorite way to learn anything is
mm,
to get really deep into it and try to teach it to someone.
absolutely.
And yeah, I end up not only learning from that deep dive, but also from the questions that come up. So that's like kind of what I have been chasing through my whole career. And now I'm in my first actual developer relations job at New Relic. I am lead developer relations engineer. And so I get to do that all the time.
Yeah, I mean you're effectively running the show over there right now, which is just congratulations. I can't think of anybody better to do it. Um,
Yeah.
it is, and it's just a total pleasure to have you on the show because of the way that you approach teaching and learning, and I think we're going to learn a lot today. So let's talk a little bit in the abstract about just New Relic in general, because I feel like New Relic is one of those companies you hear about them. You know they get used by a lot of the big companies in the industry. You see a lot of logos on the homepage,
Yeah.
but it can be a little squishy to understand exactly what New Relic does. So what I guess what is the elevator pitch for New Relic? What's it for?
Yeah. So New Relic One is the observability platform. And I think that's where I start to lose people in a lot of
Hmm.
cases. It's like, oh, okay, what does that mean? So observability, the as an observability platform, it is a place where you can collect data about your applications, and then you also use New Relic to analyze that data. So
Okay.
you're getting as much visibility into the state of your systems as you can, and not only you're able to not only see when things are wrong, but you are able to understand, okay, what's normal for my application. You're
Mm.
able to predict when things will go wrong. You're able to troubleshoot when there's an incident. But yeah, at the heart of it is a place to store data about your applications and analyze it.
And the data, just to make sure to repeat this back and make sure that I understand it, is it can be quite literally anything, right? Like I
Yes,
can just tell New Relic, here's some data, please hold on to this, and you're like, cool.
absolutely. So it could be something like logs,
Hmm.
um, but you can literally just write out the data that you would like to send to New Relic, and send it over, and then New Relic then has tools for
Hmm.
you to make sense of that.
Okay. So just again in the interest of making sure that I understand, if I have some use cases here. So one use case is I want to see how my system is just responding. So I'm gonna send some data every time I call one of my serverless functions or every time somebody loads a page. And I want to include like, what page was it? Some basic information about where that came from. Is it in Europe? Is it in South America? And then some like general timing. I want to know how long this thing took to load, and just basic metrics about that. And then I can see that over time. I can pull a graph through New Relic that shows like, hey, on average, this page gets called this many times a day. It's mostly called from these geographic regions, and it takes roughly this amount of time to load.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's a great use case. Some insights into your system and performance. I have another use case. What
Okay.
if I wanted to like I'm trying to get into the way that people use my app, like the way they move through my app. So I want to take, somebody's user journey and I'm going to say like, yeah, people hit this page and then they hit this page and then they hit this page. And I'm going to throw all those in there and get a sense of like, this is sort of how people move through my app and get a sense of like where people fall off. Like this is the funnel we want people to go through. And, 20% of people make it to step one or like 100% of people make it to step one and then 80 to step two. And then we suddenly lose a whole bunch of people on step three. What
Like, ooh,
went
let's
wrong
see.
here?
Yeah, exactly. And then from there, potentially you can dig straight through to like the line of code that
Ooh,
is causing an issue.
interesting. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, and that's cool because we just talked about two very different types of use cases, right? So one of these is like the business side of the company. We want to think about conversions, we want to think about customer journeys, and the other side is like opsy, like how is the platform that we run our product on functioning under normal conditions? Um, and then I assume we can also set up alerts, like if all of a sudden our normal rate gets way slower, we can go, hey, somebody needs to get paged and check out
Yeah,
why everything just got 10 times slower.
absolutely.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I mean, it's little stuff like that that's like I think about this as a solo dev, like when I'm working on, Learn with Jason. I build out a bunch of little things. Like I built out an API that would let me automatically pull who the guest is on my stream. That's what we're looking at now with the title of the show and your name under your video there. That's all pulled from an API, and that's set to automatically update. And I broke it earlier this week.
Oh,
Something that I did caused it to show the wrong name for the wrong time slots, and I don't know how or why. And because I don't have any observability, nothing built into my app, I don't have a way to go look at what went wrong. I just have to kind of, okay, well, so based on the way I built this and then the way this code's written, like clearly there's an error in here, but I can't like trace it or get any insight.
exactly. And I think that that's what a lot of folks who even folks who have used New Relic in the past kind of get hung up on. It's like, oh, this is a tool that I use when something is wrong, like something is on fire.
Mm,
But that's not, I mean, that is a great use case, but it's not the only use case. If you know what your system is supposed to look like, whatever that data is,
mm-hmm,
whatever it is that you are interested in, if you know what that's supposed to look like and you're sending that data,
mm-hmm.
then you have it. And when something does happen or you want to figure out, okay, what's the connection here, the
Mm.
data is there and you can go back and search through it.
Yeah, I mean yeah. So what you just said there is actually fascinating because having that baseline, like one of the things that I find really interesting about programming is that we as programmers we kind of think um like just-in-time compilers. We look at our code, we execute it, did it work? Yes or no?
Yep.
And so we think about it in like single loops and I wrote some code, did it work? Yes. Okay, great, ship it. And the fact that we get bugs is proof that code, even when we write it and it runs the same way, it doesn't always execute the same way. And there's a lot of just plumbing in making the web work. You've got DNS and that has to connect to a server and that has to go through like all of these different pieces of, if you've got databases, you've got third-party systems, you've got APIs, all of the components of your app have to work together, and every single one of them needs to function, or else things get weird. And sometimes when they break, having a baseline to say this is what everything in this system usually does lets you very quickly spot the thing, like, oh wait, this thing spiked. What spiked? Okay, let's look at that first, right?
Yeah.
And that can be indicative of something upstream, like it spiked because the thing before it was down, but it at least lets you get to the right area of the graph and start looking, right? Instead of just being like, I don't know, I guess we just start at the beginning and go until something breaks. Like in a sufficiently complex system, that's weeks of work.
Absolutely. And I've absolutely heard customers say, we went from things like, oh, we went from 20 hours on average to like get to the bottom of an incident to 2 hours, like, which totally depends on how severe and like the complexity of your system, but to have that kind of a difference, to be able to make that kind of a difference by using this like suite of tools, that's like incredible.
Yeah. So another question that I think kind of comes to mind for me, when we start looking at systems like this, I have memories of being at IBM where we had like whole teams dedicated to this. And it was, we had 5 or 6 people whose job it was to make sure the wheels stayed on all of our systems. And so when we're looking at New Relic, is this the sort of thing where like, is this somebody's full-time job? Like, can I use it as a solo developer? And how much work is it to do observability monitoring?
Yeah, that's a great question. And for a lot of people, for like a decent subset of people, that is their job. And
right.
that was kind of the mindset that I came into New Relic with, if I'm being honest. I was like, someone else knows about this.
But I swear to God, this is like 99% of my experience with the web is I'm like, I sure hope somebody's looking at that.
Exactly. I was like, I understand that this is important, but like, it's not my area of expertise. But having been at New Relic for now almost a year, I'm like, okay, I see the value of understanding your systems. And even when you're a single person dev team, having that sort of knowledge base about your application or your systems, however you're architecting, is still super important. And it comes back to like having sort of your finger on the pulse of your application and having the data available when you are trying to figure something out.
Yeah, I think it is super handy. And so I guess at this point, probably the easiest thing to do is instead of asking you how hard it is, let's just do it. Like, let's just set this up. So let me switch us over into the pair programming view here. Okay. And before we get started, I'm going to do a quick shout out. We have this episode, like every episode, has live captioning. That is provided by White Coat Captioning. Thank you, Rachel, for being here today and helping us with that. Yay. And that live captioning is made possible by our sponsors. We've got Netlify, Fauna, Auth0, and your company. Get in and talk to me. I need one more sponsor. So yeah, let's thank you very much to the sponsors for making that work. And we are talking to Aisha today, so make sure you go and give her a follow on the Twitter. And then we're talking about New Relic. So this is what we've been talking about today. If you want to go in and poke at that. But I think you had a different plan than just kind of like jumping in here, right?
Yeah. So we have fancy demo, which is a funny way to describe it because it's named Jamstack.
Jamstack.
Yes. So Daniel Kim and Rory Douglas are other relics who have been working who've been working on this for a while on a number of things related to it, but that includes this wonderful demo that anybody can install and start playing with.
Mm-hmm.
But the goal of it really is to make visualizing the different changes that you might see as you're developing a Gatsby application in New Relic easier. So it comes packaged with errors, so you don't have to make them yourself.
Nice. Okay, and that's this one here, the jankiest site on the web. What a great, such a good name. What a good commit message. I love it. Okay, so I'm here. I've got this. I'm going to now. I just need to clone or fork, or I need to fork this, right?
Clone it.
So,
Yeah, we're not gonna futz around with it too much.
oh wait, repo fork this one. There we go. I would like to clone the fork, and inside of it, I'm gonna go into here, and we are gonna open this up so we can look at it.
Awesome.
Okay, so we have a basic site here. Gatsby New Relic. All right. So we've got all sorts of good things going on here. But I'm going to, I guess, like I can just kind of set this up and deploy it, right?
Install, yeah, you can absolutely deploy it. You might
I
as
guess I
well.
cloned this into the wrong place, but that's okay. We're gonna make this work. We're gonna netlify init, create and configure a new site, put it on my thing, and we'll call this call it New Relic Gatsby demo. Okay, I'm just gonna trust it to know what it needs. Hit all the enter buttons. Going to install the Essential Gatsby plugin. Yeah, we want that.
Seems right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's it. So then if I go to netlify open,
it is going to want environment variables, but I don't know if that will stop it from building.
Okay, we can make that work. So so now that I've got this building, we'll get the rest of it to deploy later if we need to add the variables. But what should I do next now that I've got the site?
Now that you have got the site, we are going to take a look at the package.json file as well as the Gatsby config.
Okay, so package.json.
Mm-hmm. And here, let me pop over here. It may be easier for you to copy and paste this than for me to tell you.
Yeah, just if you want to DM it to me, I can copy paste it and then we'll...
Absolutely. So we are gonna want to install the New Relic plugin as well. I don't think it's in there by default because it's in these instructions, but I could be wrong. It's possible.
Okay, so we're going to run npm install Gatsby build New Relic.
Yep, so that's our New Relic plugin, New Relic Gatsby plugin, and that's what's going to let us send all of this data to New Relic.
Nice.
Then I'm going to give you a code snippet to add to your Gatsby config as well.
Okay.
And that's just us registering that plugin.
Alrighty, let's get this copied, and then I'm going to head over here to the Gatsby config. We've got plugins, and so I'm just going to go right to the bottom of the plugins array, and we'll put this in here. So we have the... Why did it try to turn those into links? What a weird copy-paste bug.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Odd choices. Okay, so here we get a New Relic license key, a New Relic account ID, a site name, and a feature flag.
Yeah.
Good.
And we're gonna grab that key and ID in just a moment. But I've got one more change for you to make, and that's also in your DMs. But we're gonna update our build command.
Update our build command. Okay.
Hmm?
And so I'm going to come in here and Gatsby build. And so for Gatsby build, and then we have an open tracing config file, which comes out of Gatsby build New Relic. And so open tracing is a spec. Is that right? Like this isn't, this is like, because this looks like it's part of Gatsby, not part of New Relic. We're sending a flag to Gatsby, and that's what's allowing us to, I guess, format things properly to send in.
Yeah. So I think that Daniel is in the chat, and so he can correct me if I'm wrong. But yes. And then we're saying, hey, and we're like setting that GraphQL tracing flag as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. And then I'm going to check one thing here to make sure that we're using, yeah, we want the license key, but I'm going to set our build command to be npm run build instead of Gatsby build, because I think the default that we set was npm run build. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to save the Gatsby config, and now I need these keys.
Yeah.
So I can set these a number of ways. And the way that I'm going to choose to set them, because it pleases me, is to use the netlify and set, and then I can put the key in, and I'm just gonna like set these, and then I'll actually add them off screen because otherwise they'll be exposed. And then we're gonna have another one here, which is gonna be the New Relic account ID. So we need this. Then we have a site name. Now this one I imagine is a value that it can be anything. Okay, so let's call it LWJ New Relic Gatsby.
Boom.
And that's going to just show up in the logs and stuff so that we can kind of tell what it is we're looking at.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, and then the last one is this janky site, and that's a feature. Is that like a Boolean?
That's just a true false. Yeah.
Okay, do we want to start it true or false?
Let's go ahead and start it true.
Okay. So we're going to set those. And now here's what's really cool is what I just did there. I did it in the command line, but if I go to my deploy settings and look at the environment and refresh the page, all of these are set now. So I need to go find this New Relic account ID. But the part that I really like about this is that when I run netlify dev now, which will let us develop locally, it actually pulls these in, which is really, really nice. It also looks like it is pulling from a .env, so I'm going to turn that off, actually, because I don't want it. I want you, get all of you out of here, and I want all of you out of here. And so we'll just use these ones in case we want to edit. But now when it does it, because the .env will override so that you have local overrides.
Perfect.
And now when we do it, we have the environment variable from netlify, and then we have the .env pulling in scale products and product count. Hooray, that's what we want.
I feel like anytime I see you or anyone on your team speak, I learn like some new, to me, thing that Netlify does to make your life easier. And I'm like, oh, this is so nice.
We're really trying to get better at these things being like so well known that we're like annoying about it. But we just we haven't done a very good job of making people aware of like our CLI, for example. It just doesn't, we just haven't given it airtime. So we're trying to make sure that people know how much time it can actually save.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, okay. So now we've got our variable set, but I think I need to go, now's the time that I need a New Relic account, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So folks can use trynewrelic.com to sign up for New Relic.
And this one looks like it will get you right to the specific place we need to be. So I've clicked this. I'm going to put in my name, I'm going to put in my email. And on we go. Okay, so I'm going to check my inbox on my other monitor.
Beautiful.
And let's see. Where's it coming?
Yeah, we're all learning stuff about the CLI. I love it. And to clarify, Daniel, no, someone else. I'm not sure who this is, but someone's backing me up to say, yes, Gatsby has built-in open tracing functionality. The config file just allows us to use a specific packager to edit and send the trace.
Nice.
And it's Rory.
What's up? What's up? Okay, so now I have my email and I'm going to paste this in. Okay, I need to do a password, so I'm gonna auto generate one off screen here.
Makes sense.
Let me get this in here. Nope, can't. Oh boy, you doing it?
Maybe.
Come on, you can do it. It says syncing. That is never. Don't you? Oh boy. Oh, here we go. Okay, so here's. This is going great. Okay, so new relic, and then this is my. And we need a password. So let's auto generate a password. Great, got a password. We're gonna save that, and then we're going to drop it in here. Save it. And now, do I have an account?
It sounds like it. I
think
hope
it's
so.
going. Okay, so now I have my account. I'm saving, and it's setting up my account.
Exciting. So once it has set up your account, and it looks like we're just about there, we are going to head over to look at your keys. So you can hide that again if you'd like.
Okay, so I'll pull this off screen again. Let's just look at where I would do this. Taste.
You can. There's a whole lot going on here. So you can go up to where your face is.
Where my face is,
which is the top right.
I think I'm in I'm in some kind of interstitial because I see the dashboard back here.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm totally looking at your browser window, and I was like,
it's right there.
But yeah, you can. I should be able to click out of that, or just go to one.newrelic.com.
Oh, it does. It totally worked. And a quick to answer the question in the chat, Rohit. Yes, you can do netlify m:\import and then the path of the .n file, and it'll import the whole thing at once, which is really, really handy. It's pretty nice stuff. So it's pretty great. I would try it. Okay, so now I'm going up to my face.
Yes.
And when I click this, it's going to show my API keys, or are they hidden?
It will show part of your API keys. So
okay, I'm going to move off screen then, and I'm going to click this API keys button. And it shows me, well, do I okay.
So you're looking for your ingest license key?
So I'm going to show, so these are like masked, right? So I'm looking for this key.
Exactly.
And then can I just copy it? I can copy the key.
You can copy it. And you can also, you're also going to grab your ID from that same spot.
Okay, so I'm going to edit these to be those variables. So I've got my key, and then I need to get my site ID, key ID.
Where it says account, the last part of that is your account ID. That's what you're going to want to copy.
Here?
That also looks right. Yes.
Okay, so I'll just grab that, and I'm going to drop that in. And I'm going to save my environment variables, and then I'm going to get out of the settings so that I can bring this back in. Okay, so our environment variables are set now. So theoretically speaking, when I build the site next, by adding all of these things. Well, actually, hold on. Before we do that,
Mm-hmm.
do I need to do anything else before we push this, or were the environment variables the last thing?
No, that was it.
Okay, so I'm going to add everything, and then we're going to git commit and say add new relic, and then we're going to push, and we'll see a deploy kickoff here. All right, and so this should be cached. We'll see how much of that cache gets saved because we changed the config. But it
Cool.
should. Yeah, it'll npm run build. That's what I want. And we'll just see if it explodes. But it should all work because we got the pieces in place. Like the environment variables are there.
Yeah, we should be good to go. So
Okay. Old lock file. How dare you? npm version 8. I didn't even know we were at npm version 8.
you know, I feel like I know where we are, and then it's like, wait, actually, I've missed like 3 major versions.
Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, Rohit, I'm excited. Yeah, to be able to import all at once is huge. I mean, the thing that I love about like this whole flow is, I mean, you may have noticed I didn't really have to leave my CLI at all. Like I used the GitHub CLI to get the repo forked and cloned, and then the site deployed to Netlify through the CLI. We set environment variables through the CLI. We deploy by pushing on Git. So it's a very like it lets me stay where I am, you know,
Yeah.
which is great. I love that I don't have to go and open a bunch of different websites to like click buttons to make things happen. I just get to, I'm right here. I'm already in the CLI. Let's make this happen.
Yeah, you don't have to swap between a bunch of different contexts.
Yes. And the other nice thing too is because this site, like anybody that I give access to this site, they can run Netlify dev and it'll also import the environment variables for them. So it's a good way to like sync along a team. So if I need to change an environment variable, I just change it. Everybody's updated. I don't have to go circulate a new .env file with the rest of my team.
Oh, that's super nice.
Yeah, that's really handy. And I can see it's doing its work. It's janky.
Yes.
Please unfix. What a love it.
Oh my goodness. So yeah.
What's up, Tony? Good to see you. Right, so we're getting close here.
Yeah. So let's maybe back up a little bit and talk about that plugin that we installed.
Yeah, let's do it.
So the main benefit of this is that we're getting information about our build process.
Mm-hmm.
And so every time now that this site builds, we're going to send additional data to New Relic about that specific build. And the idea here is that we're getting more insight into how our builds are affected by, and eventually the build time is affected by changes that we make to the site. So New Relic uses Gatsby for the documentation website, the developer website, and the open source website.
Mm-hmm.
And particularly the documentation site is just huge. There's so many pages, so many images, all of that. And so even what might be a small change on a smaller site can be significant in terms of build time. And so
Absolutely.
The team now is using this plugin in conjunction with New Relic to test out changes.
And I see some really fascinating stuff happening here. So we ran the Webpack bundle analyzer, right? So that takes a little bit of time. And then we are building out a lot of, we've got pages. What else is happening here? We're doing, so like 250-ish pages. We've got 106 pages total. And then here are these New Relic logging, right? And so we can see the bundle sizes. We can see there's benchmark data. You can see that we're sending our trace data to New Relic here. This is pretty exciting. So we're not just. I'll tell you what I thought was going to happen is I thought we were going to get like live site data,
which you
and
can also do.
but
But
this is
yeah,
really exciting. We're going to get that data about this, like the site itself, like the build, which is honestly with Gatsby, this is one of the biggest complaints people have is that Gatsby takes a long time to build. And a lot of that is that, you know, credit where it's due. Gatsby does a ton of work. It has all of these things for ingesting data and modifying it and then building pages out of it and optimizing images and all that
absolutely.
stuff takes computer power, right? It slows things down. So if you as a developer get those things set up in a way that's really, you know, synchronous and blocking and not as optimized as it could be, you can make that so slow, so fast. Um, okay, but hey, we built everything. Built. It did what we wanted. Our site is live. I'm kind of. Do we get some good jokes on this page too for it being? Oh, I love it. Oh, this is so good. All right, I love it. Check this out. This is very, very good. Yeah, we've got some pages. Jamstack, that's really fun. Oh, there's some fun stuff here. It looks like we can win some stuff, which is fun. Get a
Yes.
power bank.
See, it's a good thing that Daniel built these things into the demo, or I would just pop on here and forget to say them. So there is a giveaway. You get a free power bank if you follow these steps, and I believe the last step is to tweet about it. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is something fun, chat. You can win some stuff.
Yeah.
We've got some products. It looks like we broke our products. We've got and that's a link straight to the plugin. Okay. So we've got ourselves a site. This site has now built. We saw some instrumentation going out. So does that mean that if I go back to my New Relic dashboard, I just have like stuff? I'm just ready?
There is stuff. Yes. I sent you one more link because we do have data now. But as it is, we don't really have a way to visualize that data. It's there, it's chilling, but in order to get some more meaning out of that data,
Mm-hmm.
we can use this handy Gatsby Quick Start.
Oh, because so we have data. So before I install that, can we look at what the raw data looks like?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Um,
How would one
so
do that?
so you can just click on New Relic One to get back to your like main page here, and we should see something happening. Yeah, click
Okay,
on
so
the New
here's our
Relic
site,
demo.
and we have
So
not
I'm not
too much yet.
thing, but let's go to to logs.
We don't
Okay,
see logs in
should
the
see
select.
logs.
Yeah, since 30 minutes ago, it should definitely be there.
Yeah.
Maybe something happened?
Something could have happened.
Did
It's
it,
entirely possible.
did it like
And I'm sure
say,
one of either Daniel or Ruri will tell us what I have done wrong. But
I wonder if this timed out because it did take like 2.5 minutes here or a minute and a half. So maybe it timed out. Is 90 seconds the right amount of time for that to take?
okay. It says the entity work is still in progress. So we need to go to chart builder to see the raw data. I see.
Sorry.
So if you pop over to um, the menu along the top, and there are a lot of menu items, but let's go ahead and pop over to Mobile Chart Builder. which I think is if you go up to the primary, the left icon at the top. Thank you. Rory knows words. There we go. Yep.
Which one's Chart Builder?
The left one.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here I go.
All right. And now go ahead and take a look at the logs again.
Hey.
Okay. Hey, we have data. Okay. It's in there.
And like this is the unstructured stuff, right? So this is just whatever got sent in. It's all the basic data. So this is sort of useful, but I don't really understand.
Right.
Honestly, it feels a lot like looking at Gatsby's logs. I get a lot of data and I don't like, I kind of get it, right? I can go through and I can figure out like, okay, if I look at this log, 106 of 106 building static. Okay, I've inferred now I have 106 pages on my site, right? But like, I don't really get what's going on here, if I'm completely honest. So yeah, that's what this is gonna, no, not that one. Exactly. This one. That's what this is gonna solve for us.
That one. Okay. Yeah. So you can do this. You can do this on your own. You can create your own visualizations for whatever data you're interested in. You can even use literally like you build something out in React and like have a whole like branded system that shows you your data. But if you go ahead and click that install quick start.
Wait, I'm already in. How do I get it?
Oh.
Let's see. I am logged in. Yep. So now that I'm logged in, do you recognize me? You don't recognize me. So if I click this, maybe I'll just click this button and then it'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Did it do the thing?
So we should have seen, we don't have to do the installation step because you've already instrumented the site. So let's try clicking that.
Oh, okay. So I clicked, sorry. I saw a note from your team to click this middle one up here.
Yep,
so
exactly.
Pre-built dashboards, and then I started typing Gatsby. I found it.
We got there.
Aha! We did it.
Now, yeah. Okay. We can skip this step.
Skip.
That was the installation step I was saying we could skip.
Oh, got it.
There we go. Now that it is up and running, now we've got some stuff that we can dig around in.
Yeah.
So this is basically what we think is going to be useful to you as a Gatsby developer.
Mm-hmm.
And to my knowledge, Rory, who is Gracero in the chat, is the hands behind this.
Okay.
So like I said, he can fill in if I'm wrong. But the idea here is we're pulling out what we think you're going to care about, and so that you don't have to build out these charts yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're in your APIs and plugins, for example, you can see, okay, which of these APIs is taking the longest out of all of the APIs that I'm hitting as I build this site.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that includes the like built-in Gatsby APIs. So we're like, okay, I see that, and you can click on each of these to remove them from the visualization to like make it easier to see. So if one is just overwhelmingly large, you can get a better idea
Right.
of like what the rest of them look like.
Got it. That's great. And yeah, and you can see like, 85% of our build was around functions.
Hmm.
And so we can look at what caused Gatsby functions to be that much slower. Um, and then we can see, yeah, what percent.
And all of these are customizable too. So if you, yep,
Oh,
you
this is cool.
edit any of these charts. This this is one of my favorite things, but it's called Nurgle. It's New
Nurgle.
Relic's implementation of SQL, and so you
Ah,
query your data however you like.
every time I learn something new about New Relic, I understand why your swag is the knuckles with nerd life tattooed on it. Like, yeah, you bunch of nerds.
Yeah.
Uh, I love it. It's fun. So basically, what we're able to do. Okay, let me see if I can understand this. So my SQL is rusty. So let's see if I can understand the query here. We are selecting a percentage, which is the sum of the duration in milliseconds from functions. So we want the total amount of milliseconds spent on functions as functions from span. So I'm assuming the span is like the like log entry, like the open tracing entry.
I think of it as like a nugget of data. That's a span.
Got it. Got it. Got it. And then we say where the plugin is not null and the facet. So facet would be like where we split it, like what would cause the.
Yeah, that's like group by.
Okay. And then we limit to 1,000. So this is saying get me the how long it took to run functions for the last 1,000 builds as
Yeah,
a percentage.
as a percentage.
Got it. Okay. So this is how long the build. So functions took 15.97% of the build time. And
Exactly.
I can track that. Got it. I can track that for each one. Um, understand. And if we wanted to check for like a given plugin, like we wanted to see if the plugin was, let's say we installed, the Gatsby plugin Unsplash, and it turns out that it was trying to optimize the images for every single image on Unsplash. That would probably be very slow. So we could check to see how long does the Unsplash plugin take? How long does the Contentful plugin take? And it looks like I would just edit that to be like is instead of not null, I could say is Gatsby plugin Contentful or something like that, right?
Yeah, you would I think it would be in your where clause there, but yeah.
Yeah. So if I can actually do it, it would be like where plugin is Gatsby plugin Contentful or something like that. Is that right?
I just
No.
I think that where clause is getting
Or
the
plugin equals.
total. Um, but your inner where clause is yeah,
Okay.
where it says functions.
The other where
Um,
clause?
yes, you have two. The first where clause.
Oh, I'm doing it. I understand. Yep. Okay. I'm following. I'm now following. Got it. And so I would change this one instead of functions. Oh, and it auto completes when I do that. That's way easier. Okay. All right. So I can do where the plugin is Gatsby Transformer Sharp, and then I can run and see like Sharp didn't take that much time.
Yeah,
Um, oh, that's slick. That is super slick. Okay. So then I can make that back to what it was. And this is just a label, right? So this is kind of arbitrary, whatever I want it to be.
yes.
Okay. Oh, this is cool. Okay. I love that. I mean, it's, SQL is its own thing. You got to think in the nested loops of SQL, but once you get your brain around it, it is really straightforward. And the nice thing is once you learn SQL, every service uses it, like New Relic and Mode, and if you get into databases, like it just lets you poke around and stuff nicely.
Absolutely. This is
Okay.
extremely transferable skill.
Absolutely. All right. So then we got logs over here.
Logs.
This is okay. That looks like the logs. That's what we expected.
Yeah, so this is the logs, but the nice thing about that view is that if you scroll down on the right, um, we're essentially parsing those logs.
Oh, look at
So
that.
each of those is itself a query. And
Okay.
so we can say, and so we have this like nice labeled thing. You don't have to dig through yourself. You can say, oh, look, I have 242
Oh,
nodes.
look what just happened, everybody. I said I wanted to see errors, and it just filtered down to only the errors. And all I had to do was click in here, and it just did that. Like, I was like, what's in here? And it was
Yeah.
like, here's a bunch of options. All right, that's slick. Like, that's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's once you start exploring, there's so much. And there's like a lot of power in that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So we're 3 of 5 in here, and my mind's already blown. So now I'm going to look at this metrics tab, and we've got images by type. So we can see here's PNGs, animated GIFs, some JPEGs. Okay. So we've got like decisions were made here to go with PNGs. That's probably something that could shrink the site down on us, right? Like here's some JavaScript size, if I can get it to stick. Not 684 kilobytes of JavaScript ish. It's a nice, and I don't know how much smaller we can make that in Gatsby, but we can try. And we got memory. Oh, memory usage is cool. MDX file count.
And over time, you'll be able to compare each of your builds. So you can let's say, you know what, we're gonna try something new. We're gonna swap out this plugin for another plugin. Okay. What are the implications of that? How do all of these metrics change when we try to build again?
Yeah. Okay. And so I can override, I think, this janky where.
Yes, you can change that to false.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to override it right in the .env, since that way it'll. Or wait, that's not going to work, is it? I need to go edit it in the dashboard. So everybody please hold while I pull this off, and then I'm going to turn off the feature flag, go to deploy settings, my environment variables, and then I'm going to turn janky site to false.
There are actually a couple of other changes to make this site less janky. So
yeah, let's do it. So okay, so I've edited it to janky false, and I'm now ready to make some other. I'm just going to delete that because otherwise I'm going to get confused. What else should we adjust?
So in your templates, which is in your source directory, we are looking for product single.js, and that just has an unnecessary GraphQL query at the bottom. So we can get rid of that.
Okay.
Whole thing. It's just intruding.
Get out of here. And then let's see. Does that doesn't even try to send anything in, does it?
Then I believe we have, right. Yeah, exactly. We've already got it covered. We don't need that. And then we've got unnecessary node packages in there as well. We have Faker, which is funny, and Gatsby source contentful. We're not using
in here or in Gatsby config.
I think it is in both.
Okay, so here's Faker, so I can get rid of that.
Get rid of that.
We've got Gatsby source contentful.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of that. And then I'm going to go into my Gatsby config.
Yeah, they might not be in there.
Okay. Yep.
That was kind. All right. And then, yeah, I think that is going to be it for us. We can go ahead and build again.
Okay.
Unshake my heart. Build the website again.
Oh boy, better you than me to try that song. Oh, it's so good. I'm so while we're waiting for this to build, will you talk a little bit about your conference, your
Oh my
musical
God,
conference?
yes. So I dearly love musical theater. And I also dearly love my tech communities. And so I thought, what better way to celebrate that love than to create a conference? It was actually really inspired by Anjana Vakil and Natalia
Mm.
Margolis doing doing tail call optimization the musical at Bang Bang Con in 2019. It's this incredible performance where they teach you about tail call optimization through Disney parodies. It's fantastic. Definitely, yes. Google that.
Let's find this. Okay, so here's this. We're not gonna watch it, but you absolutely should. It is incredible. It is so good.
Yeah.
And like Anjana is I don't know Natalia, so I'm just going to assume that she is equally awesome. But Anjana I've seen speak multiple times, and she is hands down one of the most entertaining speakers I've ever seen. She's so engaging. She's so on top of it. She knows this stuff inside and out, and she's just exactly the right kind of weird to keep you glued to the stage the whole time. Like she's so creative and gets off the wall with it, and it's amazing.
Yes. Just naturally weird and funny and great.
Yes, I mean she's the kind of person that like when you see her on stage, the whole time you get this like swelling in your heart and this huge smile on your face, and you're like, boy, I hope I get to hang out with her. Like I want to be at her table at the after party.
Literally the first time I saw her speak, she was talking about the lambda calculus, and I was
Yes.
like, oh.
Wait,
And
was that it? Was that in Romania? Was that at yes, we were there. We were both there. That was
Both there.
Oh, it was so good. That was so good. Okay, we got to find that.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't
This is
believe it.
now-
I was sitting there thrilled. It was hilarious. And I was not expecting either of those things.
Yeah, it was so good. Let's see. She's done this a few times. Where is the JS Heroes one? JS Heroes. It is. It's here somewhere. I think it's called The Universe in a Single Arrow. That's the call.
Oh yeah. That sounds right.
Is it posted though?
Oh.
This is
yes.
This is the one. So this is an absolutely incredible talk as well. Like just so engaging with something that you would think is maybe the most boring topic you could pick is like, hey, let's talk about lambda calculus. And everybody goes, I'm sorry, esoteric math? No, thank you. And it was the only talk that I watched literally all the way through. I never checked my phone a single time during that whole talk. Right. So we didn't talk about your conference though. So based on Anjana's stuff, you got inspired and you started
I was
you
like,
started
what if
your
we
own.
just did this? What if we, because Anjana and I talked about it while we were in Romania, sort of like half jokingly. What if we had a whole conference that was musical, or that was like musical tech talks, essentially? And then I saw them do it, and I was like, we will have this.
Have to.
We'll make this happen. And so it was meant to go up along with Self Conference, which is perhaps more traditional conference that we do here in Detroit in 2020. But that was 2020. As you can maybe see on the screen, I thought we might perhaps only push it for a year, but it looks like it'll be a few years.
So you got to get into that. We got to be safety, right? So
you got to be safety, exactly.
Not back yet, but hopefully back soon.
Yeah, that's my hope.
Hello, Anthony. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, everybody. We're currently learning about Title of Conf, which is a musical dev conference that we're hoping we'll see soon. Maybe do you think is it 2022 or 2023? What do you think?
I had hopes for 2022, but because we have not yet started planning, I must say 2023.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. 2023 title of conf is back. Prep your musical parodies and teach us something through song. All right, so the other thing that we're doing today, but more of the maybe what we're actually focusing on, is New Relic, and we have built a Gatsby site which is living here. This is our Jamstack Gatsby site, and we built this and installed New Relic instrumentation, and now we have a dashboard, which is here. Yes, this is my dashboard, and I'm gonna go to my dashboards over here, and I've got my Gatsby build dashboard. So in I go, and now we've got two builds, right? And so our newest build, hey, we got faster. That's an improvement. So then I can jump in and look at APIs and plugins, and okay,
And
all
so
right,
a
things
bunch
look
of these
okay.
these are going to be averages. So they'll
Okay.
take, okay, all of the builds as of right now, all of the two builds. What is the average time here?
Mm-hmm.
But then when you get into your metrics, you will see more, you'll be able to see that differentiation between the two.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So we use less memory. Those are good things. We have, let's see. This is a little teeny tiny text, so we'll zoom in. We've got bootstrap time, instantiation time. Like this is, I mean, it's just cool. It's so helpful, especially thinking about if I'm working on a site that is sufficiently complex, or I'm working on a suite of sites. You get into a more real world scenario where you have a marketing team, you have a product team, you have your events team, you've got like other, like all sorts of people doing different things on your web properties. And maybe those are subdomains, maybe they're all proxied in under the main site, but each of those is going to be building and deploying. And there's no way, even if you have a dedicated ops team, that an active dev team that's pushing multiple times a day, and then you've got 3 or 4 web properties with active dev team pushing 4 or 5 times a day, no amount of ops person can actually monitor that manually. So seeing that here, with that little bit of work we did, we were what, like an hour in-ish, we have, is that right? Are we just checking time to make sure that I didn't totally blow it on timing here?
Just
No,
about
we're right. We've got another 25 minutes. So about an hour, we were able to set up all of the instrumentation, get the site tweaked, get the plugin running, and now we have passive reporting. Every time we build the site, we update a dashboard that shows, is this site getting faster or slower to build? Are we using more or less memory? How much pressure are we putting on our system every time somebody pushes to this site? And if somebody makes a change that's like a rough change, we should see that spike. And I saw something that I'm going to ask you about now, which is I saw a button that said alerts.
Yes, we can make alerts.
I would like to make an alert, please.
Let's do it. I think there might be one, but let's try it.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, please continue what you were about to do.
I honestly, I'm not even sure. So I just saw this thing, and I saw create alert condition.
Yes.
And I was like, what does this button do?
Let's press it.
And so my condition name is this is like, whenever I get freeform names, I want to swear. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it, chat. I'm not going to swear. So instead, I'm going to say it's busted. All right. So when it's busted, we will define your signal. And so the critical threshold can be where? Just wherever I want it to be?
It can be wherever you want it to be. Yes.
Okay.
And you can see the actuals. Yeah. Over there on the right.
Over on the right. Okay. How do I move?
Yeah, they're very faint little spindly bars there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Um,
how do I move this
I
thing?
think you can um like click into the time series.
I can click into the
Like,
time
you
series.
can you drag that?
I was hoping I could, and it looks like it wants to let me, but like
It does.
I don't know. I'm doing something wrong. Wait, what are you? You get out of here. Um. Oh, okay. It's because I'm so zoomed in, I can't see like all the settings down below.
I'm with you. I was like,
So let's set it
so
at 0.1 so that it fails.
mm-hmm.
I want to see what happens
There we go. We got it.
for
We're
at
there.
least 5 minutes,
Yeah.
at
So
least
this is
once
like,
in 5 minutes.
yeah. So this is like um if just something out of the blue happens and you know if there's just like a blip, you're not gonna get pinged for that. But if it makes sense, um, you can say, if this happens so many times in so many minutes, or if this happens at all, or if this is sustained for, it just depends on the metric that you're tracking.
Yeah. And this is like I think the really interesting thing is, you're always going to have some outliers, right? So if you have let's say you're measuring page load time. And you want to get alerted if the page takes longer than 10 seconds to load. And your average page load time is, let's say, like 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds, because you're using something super performant. And you want to get notified if the page load goes above 10 seconds. Somebody somewhere in the world is going to be on 3G and it's going to take 10 seconds. And so you don't necessarily want to get alerted for like that one person because no amount of optimization is going to fix that.
Right.
But you
Exactly.
can say like, hey, if like more than 25 people in 5 minutes take more than 10 seconds to load the site, something's probably wrong. We should look at that. So alert me then. Um, and so then I'm looking down here at like we could do some fine-tuned stuff. This is cool. Like if we had hundreds of thousands of requests, we could do seconds instead of minutes. Um, and it looks like there's some cool stuff here: event flow, event timer, cadence. Also stuff that I'm sure a DevOps person would have opinions about. I don't, so I'll take the recommended option. Fill gaps with nothing. We don't need it because in this particular case, data is data. If we don't have it, we don't want to consider it. And I think it sounds like this would also be more if you were looking for something to dip below a threshold, you would want the data to stay high so that it didn't show a zero. Um, that's a guess. If I'm wrong, correct me, chat. Um, and then we've got policy condition violation. These are all interesting, but this is more like if we were trying to. This would be like how we set up PagerDuty, right? Is how we set up the policies.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm going to save this condition. Wait, couldn't save this condition. Check for errors. Policy is invalid. Policy name.
Oh,
My policy. Okay, save
beautiful.
condition.
Yeah.
All right, so now we've got, I'm going to dismiss that one. Condition was saved, and now I should get alerts, right?
Yeah. Basically, probably the next time that you build, you would.
Let's do a build.
Okay.
So I'm going to make a small change. We'll go into source pages. We'll get to the index page, and I'm just going to break this layout. We'll just say neat. And then down here, just add some extra jank. And I'm going to push that up. So now that this is building, we're going to get more data. So that'll come back here. We're going to get this thing going. And let's see, I see some questions. Oh, here's a question from the chat. How is this different from something like Sentry or Rollbar?
Yeah, that's a great question. New Relic is so the reason we describe it as an observability platform is that it combines a lot of functionality that folks get from using several different services
Mm-hmm.
uh, into one place. So you're not only getting logs, you're not only getting APM, like you're getting all of
I'm gonna
the
stop you to ask for a acronym definition because I don't know what APM is.
sorry application performance monitoring.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you're pulling all of these sort of data things
Mm-hmm.
into a single platform has that can see more of your systems at once.
Got it.
And
Got it.
that allows you to follow traces between different parts, in addition to just being convenient.
Great. And we can see now that Gatsby cache kicked in, and this was twice as fast this time around.
Yeah.
So great news there. That's really what we're looking for. And then we can poke in here, and this should have alerted, which I think it did, but I don't know where would we see alerts? Like, is that somewhere else?
Yeah. So
Because I
if
definitely like my policy doesn't exist, so I don't know that I like made it do anything when it alerts.
that's that's fair. Let's go to I I'm terrible about these menus. I have to like poke around every time. Try your yep, you're getting it.
Analyze. Oh wait, I gotta actually click on it. So alerts, analyze, overview.
Cool.
Okay,
So
so
we're not getting anything yet.
incidents. I'm also wondering, like, I don't know what I did with my policies, so I'm
But
not
yeah, let's
even
look at
sure
policy.
I like did a thing. Alert conditions. Add a notification channel to receive alerts. So we didn't do that. At least once in 5 minutes. So that should have actually, you know what? It might not have triggered because we might have made it fast enough to
Oh
not
yeah.
hit the alert.
We
Um,
actually used the cache this time too.
we did, yeah. So
I
I
don't
wonder
even
if it.
Yeah, I don't even remember what you were.
Let's go.
Oh, this was duration for the plugins.
Let's go look because it honestly might have. We actually may have beat our condition. So I'm gonna look at my. Wait, how do I see? Create alert condition.
Sure.
Right. So we've got this one, and then
I think you said point one.
oh yeah, no that should have done it though, right? That 25. No, that's not the one.
Yeah, I don't think that's the
Point
most
oh
recent.
two. Dang it! It was too fast. It's too fast. All right. So oh, but I can break it. Watch. I will
Yeah,
clear cache and deploy site. That'll make it slower again. We have to pull the whole cache.
this is
And
the Jamstack. We have options.
oh, we can make it worse. Oh boy, we should probably clip that. That feels like it needs to be a sound effect. Um, but yes. Oh hey, Amberly's in the chat. What's up, Amberly?
Amberly.
Okay, so while we're waiting for that to build, because I think this will take about 3 minutes this time because we just
Yeah.
cleared the whole cache. Um, we can poke around in here a little bit more. So okay, so I feel like we're focusing very much on the build stats here, but just to reiterate, because I know a lot of people joined after we did the initial overview, this isn't all that we can measure, right? Like we can what else could I instrument theoretically on my site?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, so I'll repeat what I mentioned earlier in that you can send whatever data you would like. And I say that, um, and I feel like that's sort of a wishy-washy statement, but actually you can write JSON and just send that, um, to capture whatever you would like. But usefully, you can also see, like metrics that you would get from the browser. So you can see things like page load times, and depending on the type of site that you're building, you may have, depending on the type of system that you're instrumenting New Relic with, like you will have access to different products. But at a sort of baseline, you can use the, New Relic browser, and with a Gatsby site, or with a Jamstack site in general. And the browser agent will give you sort of
The browser agent.
Yes. I think that also the link you had also would have worked, but
Okay. So it
um,
uses a JavaScript snippet.
mhm.
So go to one New Relic.
So we
Like, is this the sort of thing that if we just like click this button, we can make it work?
so I think oh, brewery has I was just going to ask. I believe this is still included in the plugin. Um, that already gives us access to the browser agent.
Okay.
I
So
see. So
this is a different one. So I would
sorry.
just install
So we've already installed this, and those are two separate things.
New
This it's
Relic browser.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I go back here and I clicked the add more data in the browser metrics section.
Mm-hmm.
I click New Relic browser, and then it's going to give me, let's see, we've got copy paste JavaScript code. Okay. And then follow the steps to configure. Oh boy, we're doing this under the gun. Name your app, name your standalone applications. We'll call it LGJ Gatsby. And then I'm going to enable instrument the agent. Okay, so we've got this bit here. Paste the JS snippet provided into a text editor.
Yeah. So you don't actually need to put the whole thing in there. We're gonna just grab uh, account data essentially
Got it.
from there.
So we'll need to copy that information and turn it into Gatsby config. So I'm going to go in here, grab all of these bits, staging production. So we can just do the one. We'll just do the one bit. And while we're making that work, I'm going to npm install
Gatsby plugin New Relic.
Okay, so npm install Gatsby plugin New Relic. We're going in here to the Gatsby config. I'm going to put a new plugin down at the bottom here. I'm going to probably do I just keep production if I want? It said what to do and I wasn't listening. Simply pass a single object like that, which is what I want. So we'll just do a single. Keep it simple, right? So we'll get that one out of here. And then we need some integer, and that's going to be the bit that we pulled out of here, right?
Exactly. And I think it's all at the bottom of this. Ooh.
Okay, so here's the account ID. And this is all public because it's going to be in the setup. So I'm going to go here and get the account ID. I'm going to get the trust key. I got to quit tabbing. The trust key is the same.
Yeah.
The agent ID. the license key, and finally, the application ID. I'm realizing now I could have just used like a multi-cursor and gotten all of this at once, but who wants to do things the easy way? So then I save that, and that's that, right? If I deploy this, we're in business.
I'm questioning whether those stay. I think those stay strings, so we should be good.
Okay.
And yes.
All right, so I don't really need these because it should just use it. Like,
I think
one at the appropriate config. If we didn't do one, I'm assuming it just works. You do need the env as well. Okay, so let's just add it to the beginning. I'm going to add production, and we're going to put that into our package.json, and then we're going to kick off a build, and we get exactly one try at this because we're going to run out of time otherwise.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That is okay because we got all sorts of good stuff going on here. We're going to git add everything. Yep, git commit. And we're going to say add browser instrumentation. Need to add production to the config as well. Okay, so let's do that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And we'll just expand this to be a git commit all. Speed run. Let me make sure that actually worked. Yes. Okay. Git push. This should take us about a minute, of which we have 4. So hey, we can try this a few more times. While we're waiting on that build, we can go and look at what our alert did, because we should have one now. So this should all be deployed. I'm going to go back here, and we're going to go to our dashboards again, to alerts, analyze, and overview, and this should give us 1. Yeah, look at it. I love it. So we got 1, right? Is that right? Did we get 1?
Oh, wait.
Oh, okay. All incidents. Still not 100% sure that I'm doing this right. Like, I just kind of clicked some buttons and definitely did not set up this policy very well. So let's go look at our Gatsby build again.
I'm with you. And clearly I need to brush up on my alert demos.
Wow, they're getting so much faster. Did we accidentally make this too efficient? Let's.
Oh, right. We also we went back and we changed the site. I don't think we actually changed anything about the alert itself, which we did need a channel. Like, we didn't tell it how to, like, where to send an alert or anything.
Okay. And let's see, did this even go? It still didn't get over the threshold. So we've just made the site too efficient, is I think the challenge. There is no critical threshold here. So I'm going to say, oh wait, oh no, that's fine.
Yeah, the notification channel is in a different place. But yeah. Right. He's like, where's the jank?
No jank? I forgot to reset the jank equals true as well when we rebuilt without a thing, so we didn't make it slow. I'm sorry, we did too good a job on this website. It's just too fast. We can't trigger alerts. Sorry, everybody. I apologize for the perfection in my development efforts. So this should go nice and quick for us. We should be getting running, and then as soon as this builds, we should be able to load the site a few times, and that should give us some browser metrics, which is very exciting. So come on, do the thing. Here we go. It's happening. HTML, static pages. Okay, we're getting close. We're getting close. Here we go.
Things are moving. Collecting stuff.
So while we're waiting for this to finish, where should people go if they want to learn more?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can sign up. That trynewrelic.com/Gatsby would help me give me some data. But that's going to be a great place to go to sign up.
And now this is all free. Everything we did today is free. Am I on a free trial or anything like that?
Yes. So at the free tier, you get 1,000 gigs of data ingest.
Looks okay. So it looks like 100 gigs.
100 gigs. I definitely said 1,000. It's 100. It's 100 gigs per month of data ingest and one full account. So if
everybody go load the site, it's deployed. But yeah, so we can all go sign up, and let's see, that one worked. So we can all sign up. We get 100 gigabytes a month of data ingest, which is quite a bit if you're like one site, all those sorts of things.
Absolutely.
And that's free forever. Like that's not like a
forever.
Yeah, love it. And you'll note I didn't have to put in a credit card to get this. It's just working. So now that I've got this, I have my browser data, and I'm gonna go and look at nope, not here. Or wait, I want to keep that open. I want to look here and go to my dashboards and browser, and I have a site. So here's Learn with Jason Gatsby. And as we start looking in, we've immediately got core web vitals and averages and 95th percentile. We've got initial page load. Is everybody out here loading this site, clicking around so we can get all the data that we want? Poke at these and get some data loaded in here so that we can actually get this data. And we start to see, yeah, look, we can see here's our largest contentful paint, 539 milliseconds. First input delay, 7 milliseconds. And these are all green, like these are good things, right? So these are pretty decent amounts of data, and we can kind of see what's going on here, get some front end versus back end.
Yeah, and like I said, these are what we think are going to be useful to most people.
Mm-hmm.
You can play around. You can dig through, make your own dashboards.
And is this real time? I was refreshing, which I realize now I probably did. I have to.
You know what? I don't know.
I think it
is real time. I was like, I want to say that it's real time, but I flit around so much when I demo. Mm-hmm. I was like, I've never just sat and looked at it.
So we've got data coming in as people are loading this. I mean, this is great. This is super, super useful information to be able to just see what's happening on our site. And we could put this up if we were in an office. You could put this up on a TV and just keep it in the background. Did anything go red? Everybody panic. You don't have a TV in the office? That's fine. Set up some alert thresholds. But with that, we are out of time. So Aisha, is there anywhere else? So we know try relic.com/newgatsby or try newrelic.com/Gatsby. So let me reshare that for everybody. Go hit that and try it out. Anywhere else that people should go to check out?
Yeah. So we also stream on Twitch. We are new_relic on Twitch. I am Aisha Codes on Twitch and Aisha Blake everywhere else. And we'll also be at Cascadia.js and RubyConf coming up.
Nice.
So swing by the booth. Come and hang out.
Let me drop all of these in here for everybody so that you can see those. And then Cascadia.js is coming up, so you can still get tickets to that, it looks like. And yeah, look for some definite like IRL tweets of me and Aisha hanging out because she's coming to Portland. We're
gonna be 3 weeks in a row.
Absolutely. We're going for the high score here. All right, y'all. So this show, like every show, has been live captioned. We've had Rachel from White Coat Captioning here with us all day. Thank you so much, Rachel. That's made possible by our sponsors, Netlify, Fauna, Auth0, all kicking in to make this show more accessible to more people. It means a lot to me. I hope it means a lot to you. While you're checking out things on the site, make sure you go and look at the schedule because we are just packed, jam-packed with amazing content. We've got good stuff coming in all over the place. I think we might even have one on Tuesday that I just forgot to list. So if, we'll get there. But we're doing distributed databases on the Jamstack. That's going to be super cool. We're going to get into progressive web apps, Chakra UI, which we saw used in the site here today. We're going to do Svelte site with auth0, so logging in. Bringing on Michael Chan to do some attribute selectors. Is going to be some CSS wonkery, and that's always really fun. Just so many fun things coming up on the show. It's going to be an absolute blast. So make sure you head over, click this ad on Google Calendar, follow on Twitch, all those things so that you don't miss these episodes because they're going to be a blast. Aisha, you can follow Aisha on twitter.com/Aisha Blake. Make sure you go and do that. Any parting words for everybody?
No, just thank y'all so much for hanging out with us and learning a little bit more about observability and why it's important.
Aisha, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Chat, stay tuned. We're going to go find somebody to raid. We will see you next time.